Bullies took a veteran's inhaler during an asthma attack, but the Royal Guard was watching everything. Welcome to our channel. If you love stories of bravery, justice, and honor, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment about your favorite part of the story. Your support helps keep these incredible tales coming. The streets of London were bustling with tourists, their cameras flashing as they admired the historic grandeur of Buckingham Palace. The Royal Guard stood motionless, their crimson uniforms pristine, their tall bearskin hats adding to their imposing presence. Among them, one particular guard, Officer William Carter, watched everything with keen eyes. Across the street, an elderly man named Thomas Reed shuffled toward a bench near the gates. A retired war veteran, Thomas had fought in Afghanistan, surviving battles that had left him scarred, both physically and mentally. Now in his late 60s, he carried himself with quiet dignity, but his health had been declining, and his asthma had worsened over the years. As he reached for his pocket, his fingers trembled slightly. He pulled out his inhaler, ready to take a dose to steady his breathing. But before he could, a group of teenagers, laughing obnoxiously, rushed past him. One of them, a lanky boy with an arrogant smirk, snatched the inhaler from his hand. "Hey, give that back!" Thomas wheezed, his voice strained. He tried to stand, but his body betrayed him. His breath shortened, his chest tightening painfully. The boys only laughed, tossing the inhaler between them like a game of catch. People nearby noticed the commotion, but hesitated to intervene. Some turned away, pretending not to see, while others murmured in disapproval, but did nothing. The bullies found their amusement in Thomas's suffering, mocking his struggle to breathe. But they weren't the only ones watching. Officer William Carter had observed everything from his post. Though Royal Guards were trained to remain stoic and unflinching, they were also sworn to protect the people, and this was not something he could ignore. With deliberate precision, Carter took a single step forward. The subtle movement caught the attention of the nearby tourists, who gasped softly. It was a rare sight, one of the Queen's Guards breaking their stillness. The bullies, oblivious to the shift in the atmosphere, continued their cruel game. One of them, a stocky boy with a baseball cap, tossed the inhaler high into the air. It was at that moment that Carter moved. Like a striking viper, he stepped off his platform, crossing the distance in a matter of seconds. With swift efficiency, he intercepted the inhaler mid-air, snatching it before it could hit the ground. The bullies froze, their laughter cut short as they found themselves face to face with the towering figure of a royal guard. Carter's dark eyes bore into them, unblinking, unwavering. The sheer authority radiating from him sent a shiver down their spines. The crowd watched in breathless silence. "You think it's funny to steal from a man in distress?" Carter's voice was calm, yet it carried the weight of command. The leader of the group, the lanky boy, tried to muster some bravado. "It was just a joke, man. We didn't mean anything by it." Carter didn't respond. Instead, he turned his attention to Thomas, kneeling beside him with military precision. Gently, he handed the inhaler back. "Breathe, sir. Slow and deep." Thomas's fingers fumbled as he took the inhaler, inhaling the life-saving medicine. Within moments, the color returned to his face, and his breathing steadied. He looked up at Carter, gratitude shining in his tired eyes. "Thank you, son." Carter gave him a firm nod before standing to his full height. He turned back to the bullies, who now looked considerably smaller under his imposing gaze. "This is not a playground," he said firmly, "and bullying is not a joke. Leave now before you find out just how serious the consequences can be." The boys didn't need to be told twice. They scattered like frightened rabbits. Disappearing into the crowd, the tourists erupted into applause, some even recording the moment on their phones. But Carter didn't acknowledge the attention. He simply returned to his post, resuming his stance, as if nothing had happened. His face remained expressionless, his duty unbroken. But for those who had witnessed it, the message was clear. The royal guard was always watching, and justice would always be served. Thomas sat on the bench for a while, his heart still racing from the ordeal. But as he watched Carter stand tall, unwavering in his duty, he felt safer than he had in a long time. And in that moment, he knew true heroes didn't always wear capes. Sometimes they stood in silence, watching, waiting, ready to act when the world needed them the most. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe our channel for more real-life heroism and historical bravery. Don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts on today's story.